Welcome, everyone, to an NABC chat. I'm Andy Katz. Please be joined by Arizona's Tommy Lloyd. And Tommy, you guys are one of the surprise teams in the country. When I saw you at Pac-12 Media Day, I didn't think I was wrong to think that we didn't know what was going to happen. And I don't know if you knew what was going to happen. And I know it's a long season, but things are off to a really good start. So for other coaches that could be watching and those that follow the sport, what are some things you've already learned in this short amount of time that you felt like you and your staff maybe have done right to get this off in a positive direction?
Well, I think the first thing is, build relationships, build genuine trust, and, have lines of communication, that go both ways. I know that there's been a lot of changes for me and my family's life, coming down here, but I also respect that there's been a lot of changes in these players' lives, they didn't ask for the situation that was handed to them, and so I've tried to do my best job I can, welcome them with open arms and loving them up. And it's gone really well. And to me, that's the number one deal is, before you think about coaching, think about your relationships.
And one of the key things, Tommy, was you were able to blend returnees and newcomers. How'd you do it?
Well, we talked about it, and I think at first, we would, our guys would catch wind. We're recruiting a guy or two, and then maybe a few of them would get nervous, and I just had to tell them, like, guys, there's championship teams aren't built on 4 or 5 players. At the time when I got here, I think we had like 7 or 8 guys and a couple transferred. So we were down to 4 or 5 players. I was like, guys, we have to get other players to field the team or we won't even be able to practice. And then we just talked through it. And then I tried to reassure him that I'm going to do my best job recruiting good people and good guys and guys that they're going to enjoy playing with and guys they're going to enjoy being around. And then, when they saw some of the guys we were bringing in and they got to meet them, I think they believed it. And then they've become really good friends, and we've kind of created our own little vibe, our own little family. There's no deal like guys here before or guys that came after. It's just Arizona basketball.
The Michigan win obviously did wonders for everything. But when you take over a program, how much do you need a game like that? Maybe not the margin, but a game like that to validate what you are selling, what you're doing, what you're building? Well,
I don't think there's no doubt that it helps and to validate things, I'm not worried externally about the fan base. Those things will take care of themselves. But just for your players that, hey, we have a plan and we have an approach and the things we've been working on and telling you about work. And then, so let's double down on those. And then here's some areas we need to improve. And then hopefully they'll trust you with that. And say, so far coach has shot us straight. And what he's telling us, if we do it, it works. So that was great. But Andy, to be honest with you, as that game was kind of leading up, people were kind of skipping a step. This Wichita State game, I knew it was going to be really tough. I knew they were going to pressure us. We hadn't faced pressure like that. And not that I don't think we're built to play against it, but you have to get out there and get a feel for it. And it was a tough game. And I was just a little bit worried that, maybe our fan base or certain players were, would be looking ahead to the Michigan game and this marquee game against a highly ranked team. And, and hey, Michigan's going to be great, but they're finding themselves like a lot of other teams are right now. And I just didn't want too much onus to be put on this one game, because really the Michigan game isn't going to have a significant factor on the trajectory of this program, good or bad. So, it's one game and a long season. And I wanted to make sure if it didn't go well, that, we still were comfortable with where we're at and had the buy-in we needed to move forward.
Fit is so important. Also with familiarity. How critical was it that you knew these teams on the West Coast, whether you've played against them at Gonzaga or scouted them? And so that transition into the Pac-12 so far has gone well.
Yeah. We've got one game under our belt, but we prepared for Washington. And then just, the day before, that game got moved. It's nice. I've been on the West Coast my whole life basically. And 22 years at Gonzaga. So you watch a lot of college basketball. I never had really probably played against Wayne Tinkle, but I'd watched his teams play and watched him in the tournament a little bit. So you have a little familiarity. And then you have a little familiarity with some of the recruits they have, just being regional and stuff like that. So that's been good. But all in all, Andy, every season in college basketball is different now. There's so many moving parts with transfers being able to play right away, and coaching changes and things of that nature. I mean, every season kind of takes on its own little journey.
Well, Tommy, you've obviously adjusted to the weather. How has that been? Before I let you go, it's looking pretty good behind you.
In the mid 70s today, and I got my hoodie on. It's a little cold, so, yeah, we're roughing it. We got the winter coats out ready for a really cold winter. They said it might get in the 60s here in a week or two. So we'll see how we can handle that.
Well, Tommy, I appreciate it. You're off to a great start, and obviously have a great holiday. Hopefully you can enjoy it and keep that balance that you've had throughout the course of your career.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Andy. Thank you.